Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. If you're familiar with Ken's show, it's broadcast now on about 75 talk radio stations across America, plus big-time podcast numbers and YouTube followers, and he talks about your career and finding joy in your work, finding work that has meaning. So if you got career questions, job questions, maybe you're bouncing back after a little COVID-19 action. I noticed we all had a little of that last year. Well, Ken's here to help. Phone number 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Ryan is with us in Cleveland, Ohio. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Hey, sir, how are you? I'm great.
Good. How can we help?
Got a quick question for you. So I'm 24 years old out of Cleveland, Ohio, and looking to purchase my first home. And a little worried because of how the market is right now. I kind of want to just ask your opinion. You know, with interest rates being so low, it seems like if you're not the first offer and at least $40,000 over asking, you don't have a shot. So kind of wanted to ask your opinion on that.
Well, I don't play those games. I've bought real estate my entire adult life. I own a bunch of real estate. I bought a piece of real estate last week, but I did not. Offer more than asking price in order to get it. I don't get caught up in that.
My guess is you offered quite a bit lower, yes, no, on this particular?
Of course.
Actually,
yeah, I want you to know how Dave does it.
This.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but actually we were $35,000 over on our last house we looked at, and we lost it.
Yeah, well, you weren't supposed to get it. It was a dumb purchase.
That's exactly right, and I'm thankful I didn't get it.
Yeah, don't purchase something $35,000 over asking. I mean, you're not desperate, man. You're 24. Mm-hmm. You got a long time. It'll be okay. Now, the thing is this, are you out of debt?
I am, yes, sir. I've got no college loans. Grateful for my parents that were able to pay the bill for me to go to school. I worked through school, and I'm about 2 years into my working career.
Good. Okay. What do you make?
$65,000.
Okay. You're single?
I am single, but a girlfriend of 6 years.
Awesome. Okay. And you are not buying a house with her. You're buying a house by yourself.
It is. Yep. It's going to be under my name, and she'll also be helping to pay the mortgage.
Nope.
Nope.
Don't sleep with your partners.
Then it'll just be on me.
Don't sleep with your partners. Bad idea. You'll get yourself in a mess. If you want to do that, it's time to get married. But no, you're going to get yourself into a huge mess if you set your life up based on something, based on a roommate situation. So no, if you're going to buy based on your numbers, or you're going to get married if we're going to base it on both numbers, because then you've got all kinds of protection. She has all kinds of protection. She's not paying someone else's mortgage on a home she doesn't own. I'm her dad right now. I'm not going to allow her to do that. That's a bad move for her. Okay?
It will all be under me then.
Yep. All right. So you got your down payment and you have an emergency fund, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I've got money in the bank. And my other question, too, would it be smart to take advantage of the FHA?
No.
Or should I just do it conventionally?
Conventional is the cheapest loan by far.
Okay.
A lot less expenses, and you need a good, solid down payment. 15-year fixed where the payment's no more than a fourth of your household take-home pay. If you change your household by getting married, then you can recalculate that. If you don't, then you're going to run it on yours. Now, the deal is this. There's a couple of things that cause people to get good buys on anything, real estate included. Number one is patience. If you get emotionally married to something, you're going to pay too much. And it's a stinking house. There's houses on every corner in Cleveland. I've been there. There's a lot of houses in Cleveland. So you don't need just, I gotta have this house. When you get house fever like that, you need to go home and take a cold shower. Slow your butt down. Slow. That's who gets the best buys. The second person that gets the next best buy, is the person who has the most knowledge. So you learn the market. You keep looking at this neighborhood, you're looking at that neighborhood, you know the differences in them, you know the nuances, you know the prices over there. There's nothing in this neighborhood is sold for more than $350 a square foot, $250 a square foot, $1,250 a square foot, whatever it is, you know what it's going for. And so if something comes on the market that is, you can look at the numbers very quickly because you've gathered information. He with the most information, he with the most options, because you don't get emotionally married to something, and he with the most patience is the one who gets the best buys and a wise purchase. Slow your butt down. It needs to, in this market as white hot as it is, it may take you a year to buy a house. Just enjoy the process. You're not dying paying a little rent. You're not going to, but don't go in there and overpay. And it's just, man, I tell you what, you smell like somebody's getting ready to overpay because you're just so freaking excited.
He's in his early 20s. He's in great financial situation.
Yep.
The first house is the first house. I get why it's so exciting.
It is exciting.
Stacey and I bought a house 2.5 years into marriage. We rented for 2.5 years. And we look back on that house now and we go, oh, wasn't that cute? It's the first house. It was nice. It was a good move for us. We were patient, but it's the first house. And here's the thing here, and I'm not trying to get in his relationship business, but it's very interesting to me that he I don't know if he's talked to this girl about this or not, but he was under the impression that she was going to pay some of the mortgage, and they've been dating for 6 years. And I think I don't want people to miss the relationship piece as to why you were so quick to go, hey, whoa, we're not going to do that. And that, 6 years, we need to decide at 6 years whether or not we're moving forward or not. 6 years is plenty of time to decide.
Time to paint or get off the ladder.
Yeah. So why are we talking about going into a co-mortgage situation with someone you've been dating 6 years? I just think that part of life has got to be figured out first. The first house will always be there. Always.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Just slow down. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Now, here's what's happened. The real estate market is white hot. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the things that you need to get, one of our endorsed local providers. And, you may have a high-quality real estate agent that says you're going to pay more than asking price to buy in this neighborhood. Mm-hmm. In which case you just go, well, I'm probably not going to be buying in that neighborhood.
Take it off the list.
Or I'm not going to be buying that neighborhood now. Mm-hmm. I'll just wait till this thing calms down a little bit. It's okay. Now, is there a housing bubble? Is there going to be a drop in values? No, I do not think so. Like I said, I bought a piece of real estate last week. And by the way, I did pay retail. I didn't get a deal. I offered it a deal. But I didn't get a deal.
Right.
His kneecap is sore. I bit him on the knee. But,
I love it.
But I love that. But I didn't. But right. It's okay. But my wife was involved, and when my wife is involved, I never get a deal because it's SWI. Sharon wants
she sees the offer, she goes,
Sharon
David,
wants it.
stop.
David, you're gonna make them mad. I'm like, honey, it's a spiritual gift. Oh my! This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Roland is in Oregon. Hi, Roland. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can Ken and I help?
Well, my wife and I have been doing the baby steps our entire marriage, about 16 months. We've always been on the same page. And recently we did a Zoom call with a financial advisor that she had before we met. He helped her set up a Roth IRA, and she wanted to introduce me. And he advised us to be fully funding her 401 and also be saving for a home while we're paying off student debt. And so now she wants to throw your plan out the window, and I want to keep going like a gazelle to pay that debt. And I don't know how to get her back on the plan.
I don't either.
Yeah. Well, she thinks now that your steps are kind of a broad stroke for people who are making poor decisions, and
like her.
Doesn't really fit.
Yeah. They're designed for people like her.
I'm gonna take a stab at this. How much debt do you have right now?
134.
134,000. Made up of what?
Student debt.
All student loans.
Yeah.
Any of that hers?
No, sir.
It's all yours. How much do you make?
Mine.
How much do you make?
I make none right now. I'm a full-time seminary student. She makes $340.
She makes $340,000 a year.
Yes, sir.
And you're
Is
a full-time
she a doctor?
Yeah.
She is a surgeon, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to hurt my plan, because here's the stab I was going to take, and that is that she's got to see that while this guy has made this advice to her, that you still got this debt, and it's going to take so much longer to pay it off doing it his way and her way, and you're going to actually make progress faster. Part of the problem, Dave, I think, is we've got she's the full-time income. She's the only income, and she's making big money, and she doesn't feel it. It doesn't hurt her enough. The debt doesn't hurt.
And Rowan, I don't know how to help you. Let me tell you what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
30 years of me coaching people in finance. The worst people, the worst category of people handling money are medical doctors. As a category, they suck at handling money. Worse than pro athletes, worse than anybody. And the reason is that they're very, very smart intellectually, and they make the mistake of thinking that translates to finance.
Yeah.
They don't know beans about finance, but they have an intellectual arrogance. And they go make stupid butt decisions, and they firmly believe with all of their intellectual arrogance that they're making the right decisions. And it's the worst category. Now, not all medical doctors are that way, but it's stereotypical. I mean, I'm in Nashville with country music artists. Mm-hmm. Some of them do some stupid butt stuff. Some of them are brilliant with money. I meet everybody from actors to pro athletes to whatever over 30 years. The worst category are medical doctors. They are perpetually in debt, and they're perpetually underperforming in their wealth building because of their intellectual arrogance. And that's what you're running into. And I don't know how to fix that, because now she and her little financial advisor, who between the two of them don't know beans about money, have made a decision. So I don't know how to help you, sir.
How long before you get out of seminary and start working?
It doesn't matter. I mean,
well, I'm just
$340,000, they could pay it all off in 1 year.
Yeah, but I mean, unless he convinces her,
but instead, the financial advisor is keeping student loans around like they're a freaking pet. She got $140,000 of student loan debt. She makes $340,000. If you can't pay that off in a year, you're a wimp.
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that this advisor takes this poor a stance and leaves this couple in debt this far. You should be sued for malpractice as a financial advisor for doing that. That's just asinine. Just asinine. But they're going to do it. So I honestly don't know how to help you. That's what you're coming up against, though. And truthfully, some humility on her part is in order. And saying, you know what, I really don't know anything about this area. I just listened to this one guy, and, he disagrees with the other guy. And so maybe now we can have a discussion. But no, don't doubt Dave Ramsey's a knuckle dragger, and his ideas are primitive, and they're broad strokes. How about the broad stroke your idiot financial planner gave you? There's a broad stroke for you. So, I mean, just God, aggravating as crud. So I honestly don't know how to help you. I really don't know how to convince someone in that situation what to do. I think you're going to experience pain before you do. And I think you're going to experience that she makes a lot of money and you're not going to get the best use of it as long as you're following this idiot that she had on the phone.
Well, the one thing we can do is if she's not going to get on board, then once he starts working, he's going to take all of his salary and put it towards
now we're telling people to split their money apart, and that's going to split couples apart. That's not healthy for their relationship.
Well, I'm not. Well, no, hold on. Because I don't want to confuse the audience. I'm not suggesting that they split their money. I'm saying,
well, they have a split plan, her plan and his plan.
Well, but he's not going to not pay the debt off.
Yeah, well.
He's got to pay it off.
He is if he goes along with her.
Yeah. So, I mean.
You're not going to pay it off for 30 years if he goes along with her.
Yeah, that's true. I think he's got to sit down and show her, if we pay this off, look how much more we can invest, how much quicker. That's the only shot he's got is just a little
Well, she married a seminary student, so maybe we ought to read the Bible. The borrower is slave to the lender.
That's true.
How about that? Let's try that one.
Yeah. I just don't. The only thing is, Dave, I just don't think you were clear enough with him, and I don't think you showed enough emotion. I feel like you mailed that. I feel like you mailed that call in. No, I get it. It's frustrating. It's a tough situation because this is a marriage.
Well, it is, and he's getting bullied.
Well, okay. So I'm going to bring this up, and I don't. And if you send a hate mail, I'm not going to read it. So don't send it.
Go ahead and send it. We use it for kindling.
Yeah, that's true. We do. We use it for the fire pit out back.
Yeah.
How much, this has nothing to do with her being a woman, him being a man, but how much of this is the fact that it's his debt, student loan debt, and she's the sole breadwinner? I think that's a big factor in this, isn't it?
It can be in the fact that she doesn't think he's got a vote.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
she's
but I mean, this is something that should have been handled before you get married.
I agree.
That,
This is a messy psychological deal given her status.
100% of their marriage, she's going to out-earn him.
Yes.
Unless he has some kind of ridiculous career in ministry that most people don't have.
Right.
I mean, a pastor's income is not going to keep up with a medical doctor's income in $340,000 a year in 99% of the cases. So this is going to be an issue for 50 years.
Oh, big time.
If that's what's driving.
This is really marital counseling.
Yeah.
Just like any other problem, with it be parenting. Hey, she wants to discipline the kids this way. I think it's this way. This is a big issue. This is marital counseling is what this is. This is the shot to get somebody objective in there in the middle, let both of them hear each other out, and they've got to fight on this as a married issue. This is just like any other major issue in your marriage. In fact, maybe bigger.
Let me explain to you what I'm talking about, because some medical doctors are all mad at me now, because I didn't call all of you. I said the category. Okay?
Right.
It's a stereotype.
Right.
Which means that some people aren't.
Right.
But here's the thing. The people that have the most trouble with money are oftentimes that have the best and the highest intellect. Because they overthink it. They think it's a math problem, and personal finance is only 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge. It is a math problem, but it is not the problem. The problem is your relationships. The problem is understanding the flow of your income and where it's going to go. Understand the spiritual principles that are underlying all of this. And sometimes I run into an accountant or an engineer or I don't know, name somebody, an attorney, someone else who, and there can be people in other career fields that have high intellect, but people who are highly intelligent and highly analytical.
Yep. And
both
also in a field
are the ones that struggle the most to win with money.
Well, remember this, most of the world used to think the world was flat, Dave. And these people are running in a world where it says you just go, you get the debt, and you're eventually going to out-earn it. It's not a problem.
Yeah,
so if everybody says it, then you just believe it.
You should just do everything at the same time.
Well, the world's not flat.
Yeah. You need to get out of debt.
That's right.
The world is flat.
Now we've confused everyone. What?
Now I'm just lost, yeah. I am truly a knuckle dragger. This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you feel like you will always be stuck paying off your debt, it doesn't have to be that way. It won't take nearly as long as you think it will. With Ramsey Plus, we're going to kick you off with a 90-day guided plan to help you every single day exactly what to do. Small, consistent wins that add up to big results and better habits. You do not win with money. You don't win at anything big all at once. It's not sudden. It's incremental. You win death by 1,000 cuts, and we'll show you how with Financial Peace University, with Every Dollar Premium, with the Baby Steps Tracker. All the tools are in Ramsey Plus. This year can be your year. If you want to do a free trial, text the word trial to 33789. If you want to take Ramsey Plus as a free trial, you need to get in there and look at it. Text trial to 33789. And you guys have got your 6 easy-to-use resume templates to help you get noticed.
Yeah, so we had such success with our free resume guide, which is also at kencoleman.com, and it came with a free template. We had so much response because we really flip it on its head, and you can learn more about that as you read the free PDF. So we decided we got our world-class designers, and we've got a bunch of them here in the building, and they created 6 new templates that really kind of take in all different styles, also industries, and it lets you have, for $9.99, 6 amazing templates to make your resume stand out, and it's been a fun resource. So it's a way to pull yourself out of the pile, to not just submit a resume.
The free ones are there.
Free one is there.
And the $9.99 for 6 more, you can get it by texting resume at 33789 as well. Resume to 33789. Evan is with us in Orlando. Hi, Evan. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Ken. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
Sure. How can we help?
Yes, my question is, I'm wondering if you guys have ever heard of a $1 million baby plan.
Yeah, it's a bad whole life policy for kids.
Okay, I was just trying to figure out because I heard it from my brother and my alarm bells were going off when he was telling me whole life and investing.
Yeah, they should go off. It's crap. It's just got it's got a snazzy name. You know how you're going to get $1 million in there? You put $2 million in. It's the old joke. How do you make a small fortune in a winery? You start with a large fortune.
Yeah. They're playing on your emotions.
It is a great name, but the chances of you ending up with $1 million in your baby's whole life policy is almost zero. I mean, you would have to put so stinking much money in there. The rates of return are pitiful. They keep all the money that you put in for the first 3 years. It is just a really bad savings account with a life insurance company. Sucks beyond belief. Great name. Mm-hmm. I mean, I pulled up one website. It's got a baby standing there with a fistful of dollars. Yeah. Which he's getting ready to give to the insurance company.
It's so true.
So, yeah, I'm sorry. Your brother got had, man. Tell him to run.
Well, it turns out Ramsey Solutions has had $1 million baby plan since inception. It's called the Baby Steps.
Yeah, well,
because if you actually work them out,
well, you can actually invest money into your kid's name.
Right.
529 plan.
Right.
And you become a millionaire and leave it to your kids.
Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
There's no free lunch.
No. And whole life. I love it. They always go, it's tax-free growth. Yeah, not really.
That's true. That's semantics.
The only way you get the money out that you put in and not pay taxes on it is you borrow it and you pay interest on your money. So let me tell you something. If you put money, listen, if you put money in a bank and you've got $200,000 in a bank in CDs and you go borrow $100,000 out of that same bank while you're and you pledge your $200,000 CD against it, there's no taxes on that borrowed money. There's no taxes on borrowed money.
Duh. Yeah.
Borrowing money is not a taxable event.
Right.
Of course there's no taxes. But you're borrowing your own stinking money and paying them interest to get it out. So it's, it's tax-free growth.
Makes my head hurt. It literally makes my head hurt.
No, it's not. It's an industry that's been screwing people since...
This is the power of marketing language. We got to wake up.
Yeah. But isn't it a great title?
Brilliant.
$1 million baby.
Are you kidding me? What good parent doesn't want to get the $1 million
I want my
baby
baby
plan?
to be $1 million baby.
boy.
Well, I mean, you're not a parent. What kind of parent wouldn't do that?
Yeah.
Rodney's with us in Little Rock. Hey, Rodney, how are you?
Doing well, guys. How about y'all? Staying warm?
Just barely, brother. How can we help?
So I'm in sales, business development, good company, good industry. And my question is, thinking back to college, the professors that really stood out to me are the ones that maybe just taught a night class or one class and came from the business world. And it's something that I always thought about, maybe could, do later. And I was wondering what would be the way to maybe check into that to see if that was something I would be qualified for or even be considered for a night class or one class, something like that at a community college or even a 4-year school.
Yeah, well, you just put all the elements of your plan. So here's what you've got to do. So let's start talking to the community college and go, hey, I've got a college degree. I assume you do. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, great. So you got the college degree, and so the question is, on the community college level, do I need a graduate level degree to be able to be a part-time professor?
No.
And the answer is no. And I think it's probably no at your state schools as well. And so if you look at Little Rock,
you have a PhD in life, my brother.
Yeah, I think it's making connections. So what I'd start doing is I'd go audit a class. If it were me, I want to make connections. Best way to make connections, get in the places where the right people are hanging out. That is the essence of the book, The Proximity Principle, that I wrote. And I'm going to give it to you as my gift. But here's what I would do. Go audit some classes. They're going to allow you to do that. After the class is over, all the students file out. Here comes a sharp business guy like you who's on purpose and humble. And you go up to the professor and go, hey, I eventually want to get in here teaching some business classes or teaching a class on this and this and this. And you do it, and you get clear on what courses they offer. And you ask that professor to connect you to who's in charge of that. They've got all the information. They got the connections. And if they put in a good word for you, great. And then you go start meeting people and sit down. And when they see a guy like you who doesn't want a full-time job, who just wants to do it for the love of it, and you've always wanted to do it, and they hear that from you, that enthusiasm, that passion, and that humility, and say, hey, I'm on call. I don't need money. I'll take your part-time pay, but I'm here for passion. I want to sign up. What do you want me to do? Any qualifications beyond my college degree that you want me to get? Yeah. I'll go do it. And here's what's going to happen. Eventually the phone's going to ring.
Well, I don't even think it takes that long.
I don't either.
I'm going to short-circuit your plan.
Oh,
I'm just going
to
stroll into the president's office.
Of course you are.
Well, it's
the president's
office?
It's a
community college.
Well, yeah, but you're still not strolling in. That lady in charge of that office is powerful.
I'm going to stroll in and talk to her and tell her what I'm doing and say, listen, I've got a PhD in life and I've got an undergrad and I think I can teach a business class at night. I kind of want to do it for fun. What's the chances of me talking to you guys about doing that? If they throw you out, then go do Ken's plan.
Yeah, they won't throw you out. But these are, both of those will work. Try both. Yeah.
Because, I don't think the barrier of entry is that big. Because I got to tell you,
not.
One of my favorite classes that I ever took was exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I got a degree in real estate and finance, and a guy that was doing real estate syndication, was doing what I wanted to do, taught a class called real estate syndication at night. He was an actual practitioner, and oh my God, I was just dying. Yep. He was like Elvis if you were in the music business, man. I thought if I could just be in his class, and I'd do anything to take that class. And I got in there and took it, and I learned a lot about syndication from that class because the guy was actually a practitioner. He was on his day job. He was doing real estate syndication.
That's my whole beef with a lot of colleges. We got professors teaching you theory that have never done it. And I tell young people all the time, I'm okay with college, but you better go spend some time with people that are actually doing what you want to do successfully because they can teach you. And it's a master class over lunch, for crying out loud. And this guy, he'll have no problem getting in there. Yeah. I want to see him stroll into the president's office, so I'm looking forward to that. Just stroll in.
Don't walk, stroll.
That's confidence.
I'm telling you, he's going to get hired immediately. There's no question. Go do that for sure. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones here on The Ramsey Show. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Crystal is with us in Newport News, Virginia. Hi, Crystal. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Yes, I was calling. My husband passed away last year. And it's been a crazy year for sure. I'm a single mom. I have 30 children, a 15, 10, and 6-year-old. At the moment, my goal is to go back to work, but with this COVID thing that's going on, I am currently a homeschooling teacher, and it's just not possible at this time. I'm currently bringing in about $30,000 a month that I'm supporting the four of us on. And I just, when he passed, we sold our house and I moved into an apartment so I could get my bearings. And I'm just kind of ready to get into a more stable living situation. An opportunity sort of fell into my lap. I'm dealing with a special type of loan that can offer me a lower house payment as well as little to no down payment. And I can have an actual modular home built for myself and my children.
Crystal.
And it would be...
Crystal,
yes.
well, how old are you?
I'm actually about to be 36.
Okay. What happened?
Cancer.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was in school and he got a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, and
wow.
I put school on hold to take care of him and my children.
Yeah.
And that was also on my list of possibilities after he passed away. I was like, well, maybe I can go back to school. But again, with this COVID thing, it's really put me in a bad spot.
Yeah. No, the COVID thing's not put you in a bad spot. You lost your husband. And your world got turned upside down. That put you in a bad spot.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So here's it sounds like you've made some really wise moves so far, and you have good instincts. Your instinct is to try to get things stable for your kids in a world where your entire family's world was turned upside down. And so you're clawing and scratching for stability and for solid ground. And so I think you sit right there in that apartment. Let's not do this house deal. This is a bad deal you're looking at.
Okay.
And it's a deal that satisfies you emotionally, but it is not in a time when you're hurting, but it is not a good long-term play. Several things you said there were bad words in the world of your future, and it was modular. It was nothing down. It was a reduced payment. It was this is a special plan. All of these things mean that you basically can't afford to do this deal right now, and you're being sucked into something here that's not going to be a blessing to you. I want you to take the final stages in the next 12 months out of your grief into your future. And as you do those, then make a decision on a house. But I think you haven't made the turn completely yet because you don't have a 10-year plan to live like you're living.
Yeah.
Your 10-year plan includes some kind of a career move for you. And Ken, she needs to start taking some steps that way.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, what were you going to school for? What was the vision? You had a vision attached to that.
Yeah.
Nursing, actually.
How much do you lack?
I'm about 3 classes shy of applying to nursing school, but that's been kind of
applying to nursing school.
Yes.
And then you got a 2-year plan?
Yes. I mean, it's been a little bit nerve-wracking because, obviously with the nursing school itself, it's very, you have to show up every single day, and it makes it hard being, again, a single parent with 3 children. And I was assuming that I would go back.
You have family in the area?
Very little. A lot of my dependency relies on my 81-year-old grandmother.
Where is your family?
Just various situations. My mother, she had a stroke.
How did you all end up in Newport News?
Well, I was born in Newport News.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we've been around a lot. It's just that, like I said, stability is not all there.
Yeah.
My mother had a stroke when she was 32, and she's disabled. And my father, I just got him into rehab a couple of years ago, and he's been sober now for 2 years. Almost it'll be 2 years in May.
Honey, you've had enough crisis to last anybody.
Yeah. Crystal,
Wow.
Crystal, I want to encourage you.
Crazy.
Crystal, I want you to hear what I'm about to say. So right now you are in a storm, and that storm's not going to last forever. Kids get back into school. That's going to alleviate a lot of things. I want you to focus on trying to build some community, whether you try to go to church or you begin to really seek relationships, because there are people out there who want to help and will help you. And you've got to be okay saying, I can't do this on my own. But you're doing a tremendous job right now on your own, but you're not going to have to always be on your own. You need to embrace that. Now, here's what happens. Once the kids situation, when you're not homeschool teacher, once that begins to alleviate, we want to get you in a situation where you can finish those classes, and if you've got to press pause for a little bit before nursing school to get a really good paying job and get out there and save and save and save and cash flow your way through nursing school, even if that takes you 3 to 5 years.
Did you get life insurance?
You can do it.
Yes, I have about $55,000 in a savings account that I haven't really messed with too much.
Good. Keep that.
I had a $7,800 credit card from him that I've been paying off. I've got it down to about $58 now, and I've got about $29,000 in student loans so far.
Okay.
It's just
all right. We're gonna send you a bunch of materials. We're gonna walk with you. We're gonna send you a bunch of materials. We're gonna send you Ken's book on careers. Okay. I'm gonna send you Anthony O'Neill's book called Debt Free Degree: New Way of Thinking About Going to School and Not Going into Debt. And then we're going to put you into Ramsey Plus, which is our master class on Financial Peace University. It's got all the stuff in it. We're going to pay for every bit of it, okay? We're going to come around you and put our arms around you, all right?
I certainly appreciate it. Like I said, I just didn't know what direction really to go with it.
Yeah.
You know, my husband
I want you to wait on buying a
house.
house until after nursing school.
Yep.
With the actual apartment situation, the one that I'm currently in, I wouldn't say is necessarily the greatest neighborhood. And there's been a couple incidents. There was a gentleman that was.
If you need to move and rent a little house
down.
somewhere, that's fine. But I would not buy a house right now.
Rent.
Okay.
Crystal.
You listen, your brain's on fire.
Yeah.
You got so much going on. You've had so much coming at you that it's very difficult to make large financial decisions when you have this much of a cloud over,
Every different direction.
Yeah.
Every different direction.
Every morning you wake up with a new idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Crystal, I want you to hear this. Crystal, listen, Dave gave you great financial advice. You got to get your financial house in order first. Here's what I want you to hear. Nursing school is still going to be there.
Yep.
The very reason why you wanted to be a nurse and caring for people, it's still going to be there. It's not that far away. Don't you let this storm of life discourage you and confuse you from what you want to do. And that nursing job is not going to just be something you love to do, but it's going to be something that takes care of those 3 kiddos. Get your financial house in order. Do what we tell you. Take all the gifts. Stay focused. Don't quit. You're going to come out of this storm. And when you come out of it, we get our financial house in order. Then we move towards nursing. You're so close. Don't you dare quit.
Yeah, Ken's exactly right. Let me tell you what I heard, okay? I'm talking to a 36-year-old, right? That's what she said,
Yes,
right?
36.
Okay. When you're 56, you will have had a long nursing career, working as many hours as you wanted to work, and you're probably going to have close to $1 million net worth.
That's exactly
the end
right.
of this story.
Beautiful vision.
You're going to be there, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And Ken's going to show you exactly how to do it. So he's right. But we don't need to take any missteps along the way that keep us from getting there. You can do it. You hold on. Kelly's going to get you signed up for everything as our gift, darling. I'm so sorry. This is The Ramsey Show. Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You're the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book, The Proximity Principle, is my co-host today, which means we can talk to you about not only money, but careers, because that's what the Ken Coleman Show does every day for a couple hours a day. So we'll talk to you about your future and your income side of the equation. I can talk to you about both sides of the equation, the income and the outgo side. We'll just generally jump all up in your business because it's what we do here. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Kevin starts off this hour in Greenville, South Carolina. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Hey, Dave. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I've been listening to you since I was 19 years old.
Well, thank you.
33 now, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you, sir. How can we help?
Well, I'll be brief. It's two quick questions if I can. The first one is I'm in baby step 4, 5, and 6. I make $120,000 a year. I'm married, and I'm 33. I'm getting near $100,000 in my Roth IRAs and 401ks. And I started looking into the self-directed IRAs to invest in real estate because I heard that I had heard from previous episodes that you recommend doing that. My question is that I'm trying to find a good company, and I noticed that there's no Fidelities or Vanguards in this space. Is there any companies that you would recommend that do this type of IRA?
No, I don't have one that we recommend, and I generally don't recommend it unless someone is really, really hot on real estate and knows their stuff in real estate. It's not a beginner's. If you're a beginning real estate investor, I wouldn't put my 401k money into that. Now, I do know people that have done very, very well with it, and of course the rules are that all the money made on the real estate, whether it's from a flip or from the rental income, has to stay in the IRA. The IRA has to fund everything, and all the money stays in there. So it's not like you own a rental real estate and you get a rental check and you get to put it in your bank account. You don't.
Certainly.
It has to stay inside of there, and so you're managing this property for your retirement years, not for today's income. And that's what you really got to get your head around, and it's very constricting in a lot of ways. But what it does do is it does free up a bunch of capital to pay cash for some real estate and those kinds of things. Typically, you can find a local bank that has a self-directed program, and you can look into that, and there's probably a few places online, and I would just shop them out. But I don't have a particular company that we say do that with. And I don't know if any of the SmartVestor Pros would have that or not, because it's not what we send people to them for. So I don't know. I mean, they're helping you just do a traditional 401k or Roth IRAs or those kinds of things, your 529s for your kids' college, all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know. You know, you could ask a SmartVestor Pro in your area. They may actually have the service through their broker-dealer that they can do that with. But most of the time, we do not recommend. My personal 401k is not a self-directed plan. My personal IRA is not. It's just in mutual funds, just like we teach everybody else to do. Now, I buy a lot of real estate, but it's outside of that, and the constricted portion of that is there. Ken, I knew a guy when I was doing real estate deals back in my 20s, 1,000 years ago, that retired from Kodak. That's how long ago it was.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So Kodak was a company.
A big one.
Still. Yeah, it was a huge company back in those days. I mean, this is 40 years ago, 35 years ago. And he had, like, in those days, a lot of money, $500,000. And he took that and started buying real estate and flipping with it, and ended up with about $2 or $3 million worth of real estate in his. It was his old 401k, and he rolled it over into a self-directed when he retired and did real estate deals in it. But again, you have to have an income to eat with other than that, because you can't touch that money. It's trapped in there until you're 59 and a half. Now, in his case, he was over 59 and a half, so he could pull money out without penalty. But it's like pulling money out of your retirement account.
And if I heard you right, he knew what he was doing. He was
a seasoned real estate investor.
Yeah, not a good idea for a rookie to play with this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't use my retirement plan if for my first 5 deals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wouldn't. I think it's very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, real estate is starting your own business is the American dream. Buying and selling real estate seems to be the American dream. Everybody wants to do it, and I've done both in my life a lot. And so I don't recommend against those things. What I do want everyone considering either one of those things. There's a lot of people in their 20s right now. It's just this. There's a surge of entrepreneurism right now for people in their 20s, which is wonderful for America. It's wonderful for them. But the thing is, it starting and running your own business is probably 10 times harder than you think it's going to be. It's just going to take a while, and you don't know what you're getting into, and you're going to stumble around, and you're going to bump into stuff in the dark and bloody your nose. And the same thing's true with real estate. You know, everybody says, well, you just buy a house and you just flip a house, and it's like they've been watching too dadgum much cable TV. And some, you know, guy, you know, you see an edited version of reality in a reality show, and some guy walks in and buys a house and they change the kitchen out or some kind of crap.
Well,
it's on TV, and it absolutely does not work that way out here in the real world.
Well, they'll go in and say, oh, this wall has to come out. It's got all kinds of rot in or whatever. And they go, well, it's going to add to the budget. And then we move to the next segment.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in the real world. It's more expensive than you think flipping houses. But here's what's going on. There's a lot of people out there preying on these young kids, 20s and 30s, going, this is the get rich quick. Debt's good. Use debt to your advantage, and they're not telling the other side of the story.
Yeah.
And this isn't the horror story. It's not like we're talking about the 1% chance. No, you're guaranteed to run into bigger problems than you think flipping houses. It's always more expensive. It always takes more time. Contractors don't show up exactly when you want them to.
So,
this is dangerous.
In 1984, I bought a package of 12 houses.
A package
of 12 houses.
Okay.
I was 24 years old.
Wow.
For $240,000. One of them I paid $13,000 for in that package, basically. It was a pack from one guy who was going broke. These were run-down houses, beat-up houses in a bad neighborhood that was, in air quotes, historic and coming back. Now, 40 years later, it is now a big deal, historic area. Right. But 40 freaking years later, okay, or 35 years later. One of the houses they built the houses in a building boom, some of them with green lumber, and the reason the floors were warped was not because they were old, it's because as that lumber dried, they pretzeled.
Yes.
And it got hard as concrete. So jacking those floors up and getting them even took weeks and months.
Oh.
I had that house jacked up with floor jacks and posts under it, letting it settle. This is how bad the neighborhood was. They stole the jacks out from under the house one night. They don't tell you this stuff.
Yeah, that's not on
cable TV.
It's not there.
That doesn't come up on cable TV.
Ever.
Really happened.
Wow.
How the house didn't fall on the moron's head is beyond me. It's unbelievable. This is the Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Rob's with us in Virginia Beach. Hi, Rob. How are you?
Hey, Mr. Dave. Hey, Ken. How are you guys doing?
Great, man. How can we help?
So unfortunately, I got a divorce recently, about a year and a half ago, and I'm on baby step 2 currently. And I co-signed for the car that she currently drives. And as per the divorce decree, she's responsible for the payments, and she's been making them, except for a couple, which have negatively impacted my credit. But I was just wondering, do I need to add like our joint car loan in baby step 2 as part of my debt, or do I go by the divorce decree and let her continue making payments and just kind of monitor it?
Well, every time she doesn't make a payment on time, it's going to show up on your credit report.
Yes, sir. She's only done that once, fortunately, but it hit pretty hard. It dropped at about 75 points. So that was about a year ago. And I was just wondering in baby step 2 if I need to add her car on the list or not.
No, you don't. But you need to get that car paid off and get it off your name. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that?
I tried to do a transfer of equity, but her credit score isn't good enough, so it defaulted back into my name, and she also tried to refinance in just her name. But unfortunately, she's the type of personality that if I start helping her make payments or put even $1 towards it, she'll stop paying it completely. So that's just what I'm trying to avoid.
So what is the balance on the car?
She owes about $23,000 still.
Good Lord. No, you do.
Yes, sir.
So what should have happened in the divorce decree was the sale of the car.
Yes, sir.
It should have been a forced sale. And so, what do you make a year?
Currently, I make $80,000. I'm a disabled veteran, so I'm at 100% right now. I'm trying to eventually get a home next year, so I'm trying to be debt free this year. Because it's still counting.
As long as that car loan exists, you're not debt free.
Yes, sir.
Because it has your name on it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
What does she make?
She was a server last I spoke to her. We're not on speaking terms. It was kind of a nasty divorce, unfortunately. So last I know, she makes around 23, I believe.
Okay, so she has a car she can't afford.
Yes, sir. And I think she's too stubborn to go ahead and admit that and sell it. So that.
Well,
what
I would do is if she misses another payment, I would hire an attorney and drag her back in before the judge and ask the judge, motion the court for the car to be sold.
Yes, sir.
As soon as she misses one payment.
Okay. Because like I said, I'm tired of renting. And
well, the bottom line is that's what's going to help her is to get rid of the car, and it's also going to help you. Because she cannot, if she's making $25,000 a year, she doesn't need a $22,000 car payment. That just doesn't even.
And once I paid off.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and so and I don't want you to pay the car off. I want you to force her to sell it. Now, if you could convince her that it was in her best interest to sell it, because it is, or if you have anyone that you know that can speak into her life that could convince her to sell the car, it would be in her best interest. It also, by the way, would be in yours. But, I mean, we're actually...
If she gets a hint at all that it's in my best interest, she's less likely to do it, basically.
Well, I mean, it's obvious it's in your best interest. You owe the money on the...
Yes,
you're on the car loan. She knows that. But that's not the motivation here. The motivation is if she's got to get rid of this car payment, and she can't. And so it's killing her. It's eating her alive. And so she's going to miss another payment. If you can't get word to her or get her to somehow listen to sell the car, just go ahead and have some money set aside for an attorney. And the first time she misses a payment, immediately file a motion with the court to have the car sold. because she's not, the court decree, the divorce decree demands that she pays the payments and she's not paying them, and she's damaging you. And when you get before the judge, you can say, oh, by the way, Your Honor, she makes $20,000 a year. She's got a $22,000 car payment. It's not good for her, Your Honor. And he would look at her, or she will look at her and say, oh, yeah, you need to sell this car, kid. It's a bad deal. And they'll help her adjust her attitude. That's one thing judges are pretty good at.
They take great pride in that.
Well, I mean, a lot of them, honestly, at that level, a lot of the judges are not. It's not like TV. They really do care, and they actually will look at you and go, they use wisdom.
Oh, it's like the parent many people have never had.
Exactly. I mean, we do a lot of work with the foster care system in Tennessee, and so we've gotten to know a lot of the juvenile court judges and stuff. And I got to tell you, they're the best social workers on the planet. I mean, they really they care, and they've got the power to do something about it too. So it's just wisdom. And this poor girl is not being wise. It's not good for her. Stephanie is in Orlando, Florida. Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I want to know how much I should spend on a car. I have a 03 Ford Expedition. I love it, but it's an 03. I have about 15 in my emergency fund. And then we have about 25 in another for savings. My husband makes about $250 a year. But I just don't want to spend more than I spent on some investment houses for a car.
You're going to. You make $250,000 a year. You're driving a piece of crap.
Yeah, I know, but it's A to B. It's A to B. And I bought it used.
I get it. It doesn't take much to make you happy, and you're a content person. I get that, but I don't. I'm not big on. I'm the guy that tells everybody sell their car, right? I'm not the guy that tells people buy cars, but you need to buy a car, darling.
Well, what is reasonable for a car? Like, because I'm looking and
well, you have $20,000 set aside for buying a car.
Okay.
And that's only 10% of your income.
Yeah, I know.
And so it's not unreasonable to spend $20,000 on a car, and you can get a great used car for $20,000.
Car.
Okay.
You get a ton of wonderful car for that.
Okay, so
pay cash, and you should never have all of your cars and things with motors and wheels added together that you own should never equal more than half your annual income, because all of those things go down in value, but we're not even approaching that.
Oh, no. I won't sell that much.
No,
Stephanie, listen, let me set you free. You got $20,000. I think that's your budget. That's the top. And knowing you're going to go shop, and you'll probably find something for $17 that you love.
Exactly.
So,
or you find something for $20 and you offer them $17 or $15 and they take it.
Oh, I forgot the Dave deal.
Yeah, you
see,
have to.
If your budget's $20, always offer $15, not a dime more.
Yeah, I mean,
because you can always come up. What's the worst they can say,
somebody
Dave?
needs to sell a car, I'm just saying, and she needs to buy one. So it's a match made in heaven, man. I mean,
listen, you taught this years ago, and it's true. I did this. I remember we were living in Atlanta. Stacey and I hadn't been married that long, and it was time for me to upgrade. I was driving like literally garbage on wheels, and it was time. And I jumped up a little bit. I think it was a $5,000 car at that point. We were still paid off debt. No, we had paid the debt off. Sorry, but the first car. It's like, okay, now I can afford something. And the car was $7,500 for some Infiniti something or other, and I took $5,000
in cash.
In
$100 bills.
And I put it on the back of the
on the trunk.
I did my best to fan it out, but I was shaking.
Yeah.
Because I'd never done it before. I was trying to summon Dave. And
there it is, baby. There's a deal right there. You're going to sell a car.
Deal. He said, I can't do it for $5,000. I said, well, that's what I'm offering. He goes, he says, would you do it for $55,000? And I said, yes.
Before you, quick. You said too quick. You said too quick. You said, I don't know, man.
Shake.
I don't know, man.
So that really does work.
Oh, it does
especially if you're buying private party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely does. Cash still talks, baby. This is The Ramsey Show. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they will remake your window blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run all the time, you save even more. Always use the promo code Ramsey, which means you heard it on the Ramsey Show. Ramsey, Blinds.com. Pretty impressive. It'll save you some money. All right, Ken, what do we got?
Today's question comes from Jack in Pennsylvania. He says, I'm struggling to decide whether to leave my job. I'm a 31-year-old attorney making $154,000 a year. I've been the in-house counsel for a family-owned business for 2 years. A very profitable company, but our boss and founder has severe personal problems. He's engaged in illegal drug use for decades and suffers from severe mental illness. Everyone in the company is afraid of him and morale is low. We stay because our high salaries and fear that every boss is like this. Am I a crybaby for wanting to quit? No, you're not a crybaby.
Wait a minute. I don't have any illegal drug use, but I do have severe mental illness.
Well, it depends on what article you read. It has been reported that you do. I will tell you that. That is true. But let me just blow this myth up. Every boss is not like this. You know, I know, Dave, that a lot of people who are in toxic work situations, what happens is it becomes so toxic and there's a fear of change.
It's almost like domestic violence.
It is. They'll put up with it because I found that humans are more willing to be miserable than uncomfortable.
The devil we know.
And when he leaves, this is a successful lawyer. 31 years of age, making $154 a year. You can make that somewhere else. I would suggest to you there's several places, Jack, where you can make way more than that as a lawyer. So number one, every boss is not like this. Number two, you're not a crybaby. You should quit, but I don't believe in jumping, even at the money you make. So here's what I'd say. Bite the stick, start looking, find something else, sign a deal, and walk in there and say, it's been great, I'm out.
Yep. And don't try to rebuke a mentally ill.
No.
Toxic person.
No sense in blowing up a bridge.
No, just go. It was good, thanks.
Yeah, I'm moving on. Bigger and better things.
Next.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Next, yeah.
Yeah. My goodness. Drug use for decades.
And you're an attorney?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're an accessory? What?
Yeah, Dave, I just want to say something really quick on this. Because I hear this every day on the Ken Coleman Show. I'm trying to help people pursue meaningful work. So if you're new to me here on the Ramsey Show, that's what we're doing because we believe that everybody longs to make a difference in the world, and through your work and your relationships is how you do it. And we focus on the work side. But I see this every day, and here's another case. Jack represents all of us. And there's so many of you out there that are watching and listening today, and you know you're supposed to leave for a myriad of reasons. It's not where you're supposed to be. And one of the big reasons that people don't leave, Dave, is because they're so scared of the unknown. And so they're like, I'm miserable, but I know what misery looks like. I don't know what change looks like. And so here's how you step into that. The fear is of the unknown. So what's the antithesis to that? The known. Go get some answers. Go dig. Go do some research. It doesn't require a resignation letter. Go look and begin to see what's out there. When you begin to see the answers, and then you see, oh, there's a path, and there's another stone, and another stone, and another stone. And then all of a sudden, it's not so scary. But I'm telling you, fear of the unknown is keeping people from leaving miserable situations, number one, and finding meaning in their work, to show up every day like I do here and get to do something I love that produces results that
we were out
feed my soul.
Yeah, we were on the farm the other day and doing some shooting, a bunch of us, and doing some tactical pistol stuff. Anyway, one of the guys got his truck stuck in the mud. And, you know, there's two or three. Number one, somebody else can pull you out.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
What ended up happening here, actually. But I've gotten my truck stuck in the mud many times. And, you know, one thing you have to do is you have to kind of you gun it and get it moving and kind of get it rocking back and forth. And then you gun it and you jump out of it. You don't kind of like crawl slowly out. You got to get a little rock going.
That's
and
it.
Then you got to punch it. So, Jack, what I'm going to tell you is you need to get a little rock going and you need to punch it.
Yes.
Meaning that your hesitation in this highly toxic situation is going to lead you to want to stick your toe in the water. I don't want you to stick your toe in the water. I want you to go on 10 interviews in the next 30 days.
That's exactly
I want you to do this.
Yeah.
Get it.
I'm out.
Go!
Yes.
You got to get out of there now.
Yes.
And you need to go look for lots of jobs and interviews, and all of a sudden you're going to get confidence that it's okay.
Yes.
But you can't go on one.
No. No, and here's the other thing. Once you do this, Jack, you're going to find that this is the nudge you've been needing. You finally got to your breaking point. Please don't be like Jack. Jack's a good guy, but don't wait until you're miserable.
And you don't even have to work for a bad company. You just got to not like that company.
That's exactly
That's all
right.
it is. Like, we've got one of our senior developers here, the top web guy, or coding, technology guys, senior developer. I mean, this is big time.
Oh, yeah.
And he worked at Microsoft for a while. As a matter of fact, before he came to us, he left Seattle and came here, came to work for us. And he was one of the top guys. I mean, some of the stuff he wrote inside Microsoft was absolutely amazing. And so why did he come to work for Ramsey? Well, number one, we won best place to work last year in the nation, okay? And Microsoft didn't, okay? They're not bad people. I'm not running them down. But he looked up and said, I want to write code for, and I want to train young coders how to write code for something that matters.
Yes.
I don't want to just write it just out into oblivion. Just ones and zeros out into the universe, and not have any idea that it changed someone's life. But when you're writing code, here,
it's life change on the other end.
You're setting King Coleman up to completely change the entire culture in America away from toxic work. And you're setting Rachel Cruz and Ken and Chris Hogan and Dave Ramsey up to change the entire culture inside of America. When you're writing code to create a situation where the credit card becomes the cigarette of the financial world, where so many people have paid off their student loans and gotten free, that their life was transformed because people like you are writing that code. He wanted to be involved in something like that. And by the way, we're hiring more.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah, we need them.
We got lots of technology needs right now. Lots of senior coder, you're out there listening, man, I need you.
Yep.
Product designers, we need you. Front end, back end, platform, we need you. I mean, we need you. You go to DaveRamsey.com and click on the We're Hiring thing. I mean, I'll just turn this into an employment ad.
Yeah. By the way, tell them that Ken recommended you, and I might get a little bit of a bonus on that. Does that work that way, Dave?
No, it doesn't.
They actually have to know me?
No, you don't get anything, Ken.
I thought I was gonna get that.
You don't. You're not in that. That's not part of your comp plan, Ken.
Folks, we're looking for those people.
This is a toxic work environment, Ken. You don't get any money with that.
But you were saying, I'm sorry, I was having fun because we recommend people here.
But the point is, that
he wanted his code to matter.
We have a legal team here. We've got a chief counsel. We've got several attorneys on our staff.
Sharp lawyers.
Because we've got all these governance and all these contracts and all these other things that we get into. Hardly ever get into litigation, but occasionally we have to deal with that too. But it's trademarking and all these other stuff. And so, that the guy that's our senior legal counsel, same situation. He came out of a situation that wasn't toxic. It wasn't that bad, but it was just didn't matter. What he was doing wasn't making a dent in the universe. Like Apple, I love that was one of their vision things. I want to make a dent in the universe. We want to make a dent in the transformation of people's lives at Ramsey, and we are doing that.
Absolutely.
We're in the process of doing that. I mean, we're changing massive numbers of people's lives here.
Absolutely.
And so when you're our legal counsel, you're not having to work for a guy like this guy. And no, you're not a crybaby for wanting to have meaning to your work.
Yeah.
That's just called being wise.
By the way, that's written on your heart. I'm just going to tell you, your creator writes it on your heart. Nobody has to teach a person to want to make a difference. Just like you don't have to teach a toddler to take a toy from another toddler or to lie or to say no. It's all on it. We all want to matter. We want to make a difference. And some of you listening right now are doing the right thing in the wrong place. Some of you don't know what the right thing is. Some of you know what it is, but you don't know how to get there. Some of you know what it is, know how to get there, and you're scared to take the leap. We'll take those calls.
Yep.
Dave and I would love to help you on that.
Yep.
We believe in you because we believe that you were created to fill a unique role, that you are needed, and you must do it.
Yep. KenColeman.com to get information on what Ken's talking about. DaveRamsey.com if one of those positions sounds like something you need to do.
Come on.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Tax season is upon us. I know. Try to contain your excitement. No one likes doing taxes, especially after a year like 2020, man. It's a hassle to begin with, but then you go look for help, and these so-called free tax software tools get you knee-deep in the filing process, and then they sucker punch you with add-on fees, and they want to pitch you like 16 credit cards and a mortgage. They want to try to get you into debt. I thought I was just here to do my taxes. Thank you, TurboTax. It drives me nuts, man. There's a better way to do it. It's announced this year, a brand new thing. It's called Ramsey Smart Tax, our team's brand new tax filing software. It'll help you file with confidence. Ramsey Smart Tax. You get upfront pricing, no credit card pitches, no other side deals. It's a killer deal, no tricks, simply help you do your taxes. That's simple. Text the word tax to 33789. Hardly costs anything. Text the word tax to 33789. Regina is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Hi, Regina. Regina, how are you?
Great, Dave. It's a pleasure to talk to you. And Ken, it's wonderful to talk to you. I love your show. I just saw Matthew McConaughey, so that was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Now, Dave, I have to pick your brain. So this is my story. I'm a long-time listener, and I'm a first-time coordinator. Very happy coordinator, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm working back at baby step 1, working hard. My only debt is my car. About to pay it off by September because it's on the budget and it's on a line item and it's on strict allocation.
Great.
The issue I am having is I have an attorney bill that's $14,000 and just growing exponentially. I have a line item in the budget for it, but I just don't have a big enough shovel. I'm working day and night. I've got 4 jobs, and this bill is not going to go away. I have an ex-husband who loves to play games. So my attorney has told me in an email that I either need to get a loan or borrow money from my children, or he will not represent me. I am stuck. What would you do?
So the ongoing hassling is over child visitation and child custody issues?
It's basic. He wants more, he wants more, he wants more, he wants more. I pay child support, he wants more. So it just keeps going every year.
What do you make?
I make $42 a year.
What do you do?
I work for a financial institution. The growth potential is limited. However, if you ever bring your product out west, I'll be at your front door.
You said you have 4 jobs. What are the other 3?
I work Lyft, I work Uber, I work side jobs, and I donate blood 8 times a month.
Wow.
I work every single hour of the day. I don't go to bed till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, get up and do it all again.
Who keeps your kids?
I'm working hard at getting this done. I want the debt done.
Who keeps your
this
kids?
Part I can't fix. Pardon me?
Who keeps your kids?
The custody battle is basically ongoing, but I only have my daughter, which is just my little girl, on the weekends, Friday through Monday. So I work like, crazy when I don't have her, and any other days that I can, I work. I work.
What's his financial situation?
Well, that's multifaceted. He hides his assets. He has 6 cars, 2 paid-for homes, and he says he's broke and he's a student. He makes $11.50 an hour.
Well, Dave, I want to fire the attorney, but what do you say?
Yeah, I think you need a new attorney.
Well, that's a wonderful idea, but I don't have another attorney that'll take me either. I'm broke. I mean, I really don't have the retainer.
Yeah. I think that's your move. Here's the thing. You have a $14,000 debt to an attorney.
Sir.
If you have a $14,000 debt to a bank instead of an attorney, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't care where the debt is. If you want to move it and go borrow the money to pay him off, that's fine. In the process of doing that, I'm going to fire him, though.
I just don't have another retainer.
I know, but I'm going to gather up the money and find a way to do this. Even if you borrowed a little bit for a retainer, I don't care. I mean, or you sell something, or you do whatever. I mean, you've been doing this, work your tail off and save money for a shorter period of time. It's not been for 2 years. But the attorney thing has been going on for a long time. But basically, you're getting your butt whipped, and somebody needs to turn the brass knuckles on your ex, metaphorically speaking.
Understood. He's offered me a one-time 30% discount. Do I just go get this loan? I mean, I'm really...
Yeah, if he'll knock 20% off, that'd be great. If he'll knock 20% off, that'd be awesome. And then use that 20% to get the retainer together and borrow $14,000. You have $14,000 in debt when we started the conversation. You now have $14,000 in debt. We finish the conversation somewhere else, and you have a new attorney. Your attorney's getting his butt whipped.
Yeah, he's terrible.
I agree.
He's terrible. With the information you gave Dave and I, a good lawyer who actually cares about you and wants to get this right.
Oh, he would say, I'll take it on contingency because I want to take it out of Junior Boy's hide.
Yeah, all the cars.
Yeah. We can fix this. But, this is the thing. And here's the thing. The other issue is you are going to have to continually, like you have a chronic illness, and you're having to every month write checks to a doctor. You have a chronic illness. Every month you're going to write checks to an attorney until you get this solved one way or another here. And I don't think a simple retainer is going to do it. That just moves it, gets it out of his hands, and you move on. But you're working too hard to lose all the time.
Kelly, tell Regina, let's have you call my show sometime this week or whatever. I want to spend a little more time with her on the shovel part, because we don't have enough time right now to dive into it. But I think we can get her a bigger shovel, and that will help tremendously. Making more money will help this.
Yeah, definitely would. Eric is in Detroit, Michigan. Hi, Eric. How can we help?
Thank you for taking my call, Dave. I was just wondering, I'm looking at purchasing my mom's house. I'm going to be selling my house and purchasing hers, but I just want to know the proper way to do that. I have siblings. I don't want there to be any hard feelings of that I got a deal or took money from her or anything like that. I just want to purchase the house for a good price, but I don't want to overpay for it, obviously. So I just pay the asking price, whatever, have it appraised and pay that, or I'm not sure how to do it exactly.
Well, I mean, that's the only way everybody's going to be happy, it sounds like, because it sounds like you're super concerned about it. So it sounds like you're going to pay for an appraisal. Are you getting a mortgage?
No, I'm not. My house does not have a mortgage on it. I'm just going to sell my house and pay cash for hers.
Okay. Yeah, then, I mean, if you want to be super bureaucratic about it, you hire an independent appraiser to appraise it for $400, and you have an appraisal done, and you go, I'm paid full appraisal. I mean, who's got a gripe with that?
Okay.
Now,
I mean, is that normally because we're not going to be using a real estate agent.
No, it's not normally how it would be done. Normally, Mom would give her son a discount.
I was going to say.
Okay. I mean, she probably would, but I don't want there to be any hard feelings from anybody else.
And it sounds like that's a potential.
Right.
Like you've got siblings that walk around with a little chip on their shoulder.
Insurance, like deed insurance or anything like that? Or
I'm sorry?
I've heard of. Do I need to get any kind of insurance, like deed insurance? Or
title insurance.
Like
yeah, you need to get title insurance. Yeah.
I do need to get that still.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. And do I just go through a broker to...
You can get a title company to execute the closing for you. They'll prepare the deed, record the deed, help you know what all of the recording costs are. You'll pay a little bit of legal fees, and you'll pay for a title policy. How expensive a home is this?
I'm guessing $250,000.
Okay, your title policy is probably going to be $1,000, give or take.
Is it? Okay.
Something like that. And then the rest of it's probably going to be another $500 in odds and ends, depending on what it takes to record a deed in your state. I don't know what kind of level of taxes Michigan has on recordation, but that's what you're talking about here. And then there's no question, if you had an appraisal, that you did the right thing. And if anybody questions it, you just go, this was the appraisal. What else did you want me to do? But it sounds like there's somebody in the pile here that's not going to be happy no matter what you do. So you better be ready for that anyway. That kind of goes with the territory. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, and host of The Ken Coleman Show, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225 as we talk about your life, your career, because Ken's here, and questions you've got about, getting the right job in the right situation, especially at the right time, which is known as now. Again, phone number 888-825-5225. Preston's in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hi, Preston. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Ken. How are you guys doing today?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
Dave, I'm trying to figure out if we are self-insured. And if you don't mind, I got some numbers here. Give you a better picture of what I got going on.
So self-insured through what? Life?
As far as life insurance goes.
Okay.
I'm 52. My wife is 53. And we have a net worth of what I figured out about $1.3 million.
Good for you. Well done.
We have a 20-year term life insurance policy, one on each of us, that expires in 6 years. Currently, I'm thinking about we're in the crossroads of updating that or letting it lapse. If I die today, I'm figuring that my wife would probably have that $1.4 million. In addition to that, I have a pension with a spousal survivor on it, which is about $48,000 she would receive until she would die. And then
what does she need to live a year?
That's my problem. Right now, to replace that salary on that pension.
No, you're going to get that. She's going to get the pension of $48,000, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what does she need to live a year? She's got $48,000. How much does she need total?
I would say $100,000 a year.
Okay, so we need another $50,000. You got $1 million for. What's the $1 million for invested in?
I've got 800 in investments. I've got about 300 in a home, and the rest is in the savings.
Okay, so if the 800 produced 10%, that'd be 80,000.
Yes.
If it produced 6%, that'd be plenty. I mean, you'd still be there.
Okay. And so the other thing I was looking at in 6 years, when that the policy that we have expires, I'm going to assume that 800 should be about 1.6. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
800 in investments should double on that, pretty close to double on that time?
Yep.
Okay.
Assuming it's invested in good mutual funds and you're making a 10+% rate of return, that would get you there.
We've been following your plan for 25 years, and we're following the steps. We're debt-free, and that plan that you put on there, it works. And if anybody's questioning it, they feel free to give me a call. It works. It
wow.
put us on a different level.
So you didn't inherit this money. This is all from the ground up.
No, Dave, I didn't inherit not one dime. In fact, when my parents died, I was fortunate enough because of you to actually pay for funerals. We came from a different side of the track, and if we can do it, anyone can do it.
Wow. Way to go. I'm very proud of you. Excellent job. That's very cool.
I loved his laughter when you said, so you didn't inherit this from the ground up, and he just laughed a laugh of
That's absurd.
knowledge.
That's absurd.
Yeah, no. And he was reminiscing the journey while he chuckled. You got to love that.
Yeah. I mean, you really have to be out of touch with life and have your head stuck up some kind of twisted ideology to think that people build wealth by inheritance.
Yeah.
Because it is such a small percentage of wealthy people that did not do it themselves. I mean, of all the 10,000 millionaires we studied, we found well in excess of 90% inherited either not enough, nothing, or not enough to have made them millionaires. They got $5,000 inheritance or something like that. It's about 93% of millionaires in America are millionaires because of their own saving.
Yep.
And like he said, you come from a neighborhood where you end up having to pay for your own mom and dad's funeral. And so, I mean, that's not exactly privileged.
No.
Not in terms of a racial thing, but in terms of an economic thing.
Yeah, nothing handed to them. They earned it.
Yeah.
You know, there was also a high percentage, and I wish I knew it. My brain's a little slow on it. You may know it. High percentage of those everyday millionaires also loved their work.
68%.
68%. Thank you.
As opposed to 68% of the public hate their work.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
80% internationally.
Yeah.
And so what that says to me is that when you enjoy your work and you find meaning in it, you'll work a little harder because you enjoy it. You'll go a little harder to make more money.
Not only harder, but you just tend to be better
Well,
at
you do
it.
better. There's no question.
You're
Your
better
performance
at it.
is better. No question.
Yeah, and so you make more money.
Yeah, you get promoted, you make more money, you invest wisely,
smile.
and you're 52 years of age and he's self-insured.
Yeah.
Is what the answer
He's
is.
a 52-year-old millionaire. 1.4 million.
52's young, Dave.
Well, our average was 51.
Wow.
In the study. That's when they got there. Now he's been a millionaire a while.
Mhm.
He was a millionaire several years ago already because he's at $1.4 million right now.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what Chris Hogan found and our team found when we did all the research. And we published it in the book Everyday Millionaires and the white paper that you can even get at DaveRamsey.com if you want to read the whole thing.
Mhm.
And it's not, sometimes I get accused of shaming people. It's not shaming people. It's quite the opposite. It's saying anyone can do it.
That's right.
Anyone can do it. I'm so dumb, I did it twice.
See, that gives you that authority, though. Hey, I've done it twice.
I was a millionaire by the time I was 26,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
lost it all because I was stupid.
Hey, one of the most staggering pieces of data from that study, I remember when Chris first shared it to me, I about fell out of the chair, but I was so excited to hear it, that I think the third largest group were teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know for a fact that the median salary in the United States for teachers is $60,000.
Mm-hmm.
You soak on that for a minute, just in case you're going, well, this guy, who knows what he did. No. That's not what it's about. It's not about how much you make.
About what you do with it.
That's it.
Yeah, the average, teacher salary is the average salary in America. They're right at the...
Is that right?
Right there,
Yep, right there at
59,000.
60. Okay, 59, okay.
Yeah, that's the average household income in America. And so but
that's
here's what
doable.
teachers do. Teachers believe in processes.
Mm-hmm.
And they steadily invest and steadily invest. And if you put 15% of your income away and you make $50,000 a year, you'll have $5 million at retirement, not one. But you can't put 15% away because you're driving a car you can't afford. You got a boat in the backyard that costs you $500 a minute for the use that you actually get out of it, considering the insurance, the depreciation, and the payments you're paying on it. Talking to boat people in the middle of winter. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I was thinking about a boat. Now Dave just completely
blew
dashed
that
that.
up, yeah.
No boat for me this year.
Yeah, well.
It's true, though, but it's doable. That's the point. It's doable.
It's very doable. Very doable. This is The Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com/Ramsey to find out more. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Let's get real for a minute. Some of you are getting close to baby step 4 and you're freaking out because you know you need to save 15% of your income for retirement and you have no idea how to start investing. It's all brand new to you. It's okay. A lot of people got questions. It's brand new. You got to have somebody to help you with it. You got to have somebody to walk with you. You need a pro like a SmartVestor Pro. They can answer all the questions that you have in plain English. They do not sound like people in the industry. Sometimes sound like Charlie Brown's teacher, like wah, 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 wah. Y'all even know who Charlie Brown's teacher is?
I do.
Yeah, but when it comes to investing, you need to know what you are investing in. You need to understand. You need to sit down and work with a SmartVestor Pro that has the heart of a teacher, and they're going to teach you what's going on. So never again do you need to sit around freaking out. Take your time. Learn, invest based on that. If you want to get ready, it's time to do it. Time to start investing. Text the word invest to 33789. Text invest to 33789. Reagan is with us in Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, Reagan. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Ken. How are you guys?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I've got a question for you. I'm 24 right now, and I'm actually on my trial period of Ramsey Plus. I'm working on getting all my finances in order where they need to be. I'm on, I guess, baby step 2. I'm finishing up grad school in May, and I just accepted a job offer that starts on March 1st. My question is, I'm getting engaged in about a week and a half.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm curious who I should put as the beneficiary of a term life insurance policy. I'm about to take one out about after I get engaged. And I know you're a big proponent of keeping finances separate until marriage. I was just wondering, should I put her as the beneficiary?
I wouldn't. I mean, unless you have a child with her, do you?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Then no. I mean, I would not put her. I would change it to her name as soon as you get home from the honeymoon or the week before marriage or whatever, something like that. But I suspect you're going to be engaged a little while, and you're probably not going to get married 2 weeks later, right?
Yes, sir. I think that we're shooting for something like January of 2022.
Yeah. I would just put I don't even know that you can go and get some term insurance if you want to, but, and truthfully, changing the beneficiary on your term life insurance is not that big a deal. It's not that hard to do. It's a one-page form if you do it analog. If you do it digital, it's no big deal at all. But, yeah, I would not. I would name like your parents or somebody like that as a beneficiary right now, and then after you're married, I would change it. You're right. I'm a big proponent of keeping it separate. And the opposite is true for those of you out there. When you do get married, you do need to change it. Ken, we had a call, I think it was Hogan and me on the air a couple of weeks ago, that the couple had been married 7 years and he died and he had never changed his beneficiaries. And his dad got all his 401k, got all his life insurance. And he had 3 kids. They've been married 7 years. And he'd never gone in and changed it. So me and Hogan had a bit of a rant there.
I'll bet.
On get your dadgum stuff changed. It's the opposite end of the spectrum of this guy. But, yeah, you get married, you just need to sit down and go through the paperwork and be a grown-up and, make sure your beneficiaries are all changed to your new spouse.
I've got a question for you, and it's a true technical question. Maybe it's too small, so help me. Why wouldn't he, the day before, a couple of days before the wedding, go ahead and get it changed then?
Yeah.
In case something
that'd be fine.
Awful, which you don't want to think about. Okay.
That'd be fine. I mean, but
I just didn't know if you were specific on that.
Yeah, week before, week after, but not a year
months
ahead.
In advance.
Not a year ahead, because too many things happen, too many things can go on, and then, it's. I'm not even sure you need life insurance until you get married.
That's true.
In this case.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you were a single guy out there, that might be the answer. It might be that you wait.
Yeah, I was wondering what's the benefit for
now,
him?
if there's a benefit at his new job that's term life insurance and they're providing it, he just got to name a beneficiary, then that's a different thing.
Right.
But I thought he said he was purchasing it.
He did say that. And I was wondering why would a single guy need to get term insurance?
Doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't. If you're single and you have a little bit of money in the bank to bury you if something happened to you, then I really...
Yeah, outside of that, that's the only expense.
You don't need a bunch of life insurance at that stage of the game.
He's just a responsible young man. He's very excited.
Yes,
he just got his first job.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Yeah.
He's getting engaged. He just is trying to check boxes off.
He's doing the right thing.
He is.
He's being smart about all that. So good stuff. Brad's with us in Wisconsin, Appleton to be precise. Hey, Brad, how are you?
Good, Dave. Pleasure to talk to you. First time caller, long time listener.
Well, thank you. How can we help?
Well, quick question. I'm 53 years old. My wife is 51. We are everyday millionaires, thanks to you and your guys and your program.
Great.
But I do have one small debt that it was not debt, my home mortgage, just $45,000 that is eating me. I want that gone. We do have two each have a variable life insurance policy, which cash value is about $35,000 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Would you recommend taking that out and just throwing it at the mortgage and leaving me with $10,000 left to pay on it?
Yeah. What's your? You don't have $10,000 laying around in an account somewhere?
Well, yeah, I do. Yes.
Okay.
we could pay it all off.
Yeah. So let's just pay it off. I mean, I don't want to just come up short, but the answer is I would pay off your mortgage, and yes, I would cash out variable life insurance. Now, if you do need term life insurance, you would need to get that in place first. Now, you said you're everyday millionaires. Are you in a position that if something happened to you without any life insurance, that she would be okay?
Yes, she's a teacher. She makes about $60,000, and we have no other debt available. We have no other debt. I make plenty to cover that person as well. So,
and you have substantial investments. It sounds like
about $820,000, I believe, in investments. Yes.
Okay.
And cash laying out.
And so that money could be invested and create an income to replace your income if something happened to you.
Yes.
Okay. Then, if you consider yourself self-insured, then you don't need, and it sounds like you are. If the kids are grown and gone and the mortgage is paid off, I mean, you're in great shape. So, yeah, I'm cashing that puppy out. It's a horrible place to have money, and the little tiny mortgage is a horrible thing. So let's just get rid of a bunch of horrible things. One conversation.
And a celebration.
Ta-da.
You can tell it's really nagging at him.
Touchdown.
I don't know if he caught that. Go. Like, you can pay that off.
Today.
Yeah, Dave said, you're free. Go.
Yeah, you probably got $45,000 in one of those other accounts. You could just write a check today and pay it off. That's not in a retirement account, and then just replenish it with this. Now, if you only have $45,000 cash to your name anywhere, then don't do that. Mm-hmm. But I suspect that I'm hearing lots of zeros in this discussion, so I think you're okay. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Aaron is with us in Louisville, Kentucky. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
So probably geared more towards Mr. Coleman. I am at currently the job that I'm at isn't a bad job. I just don't really make a whole lot of money, but it is pretty secure. When everything was shut down or whatever, I still had my job, and it was considered quote unquote essential, whatever.
Sure.
But I have to really work a lot of hours to really make any halfway decent money, and so I just don't want to do that forever. I'd like to start trying to find something better, but I'll just be honest, I'm fearful that as soon as I go out and get something crazy happens, they shut down again, and then I can't work whatever job that I'm getting.
Let me set you free. I get that.
We'll come back to you after this break.
We can get to that.
Yeah, we're going to come back to you after this break. I'm going to put you on hold.
Yes.
And bring you back around, Aaron, because I want to give you a good, solid answer and let Ken spend a minute with you right here. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. We're talking with Aaron in Louisville, Kentucky. And Ken, I'll let you pick it up.
Yeah, so Aaron, where we left off before we went to the break, you're in a situation where you've got a good, stable job, but for you to make any decent money, you're having to work some crazy hours. And your concern is that if you go take something else and do something else, which is what I heard you say you want to do, you're worried that if things go bad, you're going to be stuck and you will have left a stable job. So there's some fear there. Did I about capture that?
Hit the nail or the hammer on the nail.
Okay, great. So let's just talk about what you want to go do. What is it that you want to go do? Describe that type of work.
Well, I mean, if I could pick anything, I would try to grow a couple of my photography business. But as far as just to go enter another job,
no, hold on. I love this. Hold on. I love this. Let's talk about the plan to go do what you really want to do, which is photography. So is that, tell me about that. Is that weddings, all types of family photography? What is that? What does that look like?
Currently that looks like anything that I can snap a photo of, honestly.
Right.
Weddings is there is really good money in weddings. You do, portraits well enough, there's decent money there as well.
So the only reason I ask that is that the type of photography that you want to do?
I don't really have anything specific, that I want to do in that. I just want to take photos, I guess.
Okay. All right. So here's what we want to do.
Broad.
Okay, that's okay. So what I want you to do, I've got a quick homework assignment for you over the next couple days. I want you to begin to make a list of the type of photography that you most love to look at. What moves you when you see photos? What kind of photos? Is it photos of cars, classic cars? Is it photos of sunsets? I don't care what it is, but I think you got to get in tune with, this is the kind of photography that I get inspired by, that I like to consume. Make a list of people who are doing that, begin to look into that, and do some research into what that looks like, how you can get paid, what those rates look like. Just become a student of that future, because that's what you want to do. Now, let's move to a better day job. What do you think from a talent standpoint that you could go do in your area, Louisville, Kentucky, and put yourself in a much better paid situation? What would you look at? Just another day job that's more stable. What are you thinking?
Honestly, I don't know. I what I was thinking about was just hitting the streets and just trying to see who's offering jobs and what hours they're offering. And I'd like to be in somewhere that's somewhat kind of like what as far as hours go, what I do now, as far as like I start work real early in the morning, and there's the potential of getting off at a decent time during the day where I still have time to spend with my family. But, like I said a while ago, to do that, I just don't make enough money. But
sure. Okay, so here's the deal.
Do something that paid better, that had those kind of hours.
All right, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about what you do best, just your basic talents that you can take to the marketplace. And you're good at your job now, correct?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a mailman. I don't work directly for the post office. I work for a contractor that contracts their house out.
So let's look at other jobs. Let's just start looking in Louisville, Kentucky right now, jobs where you can be in a car and you kind of set your own schedule, certainly that early morning because you've got a nice rhythm there. And let's look where I can make some money driving, whether that's a delivery truck, for you've got your national companies, you've got local companies, you've got food delivery. Just start looking at anybody out there that's looking for a very dependable driver, delivery, maybe some logistics work, maybe in a warehouse. You just got to say, hey, here's what I bring to the table. I'm dependable. I can do this. And you start looking out there and saying, these are the jobs that are out there, and this is what they pay. They pay more than I'm being paid now, and I don't have to work as many hours. This is just a simple research play. Turning over rocks and find it. Now, I want to address your fear. Unless you're applying for something that is some brand new company, some startup that has no history, you have enough common sense, I trust you, Aaron, to be able to determine whether or not this is a risky move. And it's not a risky move, because the reality is the type of work you're doing and the type of work you can do, you don't need to worry about it disappearing. You just can't live life that way. Just move forward. Go get a better paying job that you don't have to work these crazy hours. And for the amount of hours you're working, maybe get two jobs.
Hey, Aaron. Is this safe to say your job sucks?
Well,
yeah, it's safe to say that. And it's steady. So it steadily sucks.
Right.
Yeah, steady's not all.
It
it's
steadily sucks.
Is, I guess, the thing.
Dude, say that out. I mean, really, you need to hear that. And let me just tell you, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting.
Yeah.
So it is time to do something different. I don't know. You can change your day job.
Yeah.
You can start the photo thing on the side.
Definitely.
But dude,
do that.
let's do something.
Yeah.
Because right now we got sucks on steady.
Yeah, and by the way, if something good falls apart, sucks still there. You can go back to it. There's nothing to be afraid of here. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, I'm afraid that you continue to do what you're doing. That's what I'm afraid of.
Oh, I like that.
So,
Well,
I
that's
mean,
exactly right.
But here's the thing. There is no security.
No, none.
Except your own ability.
That's right.
And you're not even using your own ability here. You've got an entry level base job that sucks.
Yeah.
And and so you're not even you're really not losing anything if you lost this.
Yeah.
Because if you can develop a skill, you are always going to be employed at that skill.
Yep.
Because that you're only as secure as your ability to go land something else. And if you're breathing, you can land this job.
That's right. But see, here's where his fear's coming from. His fear's coming from he simply doesn't know. He hasn't done the research to see all the different types of jobs he can do in Louisville. Once we see 1 job, 2 job, 3 job, 4 job, 5 jobs, 7 jobs, you go, wait a second. Oh, I can do those. Now I'm not so afraid. But we talked about this before. People would rather deal with the misery than the uncomfortableness. And so he just needs that nudge. Go.
The devil we know.
Go find it.
Yeah.
And then do it.
Yeah, it's just here's the thing. You're stuck, and you got to get unstuck.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you've dug your own ditch here. This is you know what
a rut is? Zig Ziglar used to say it's a grave with both ends kicked out.
That's exactly right. Nobody says it better than that. That's what it is. And by the way, this is a rut of your own doing.
Yeah. So change it.
Today.
If you do nothing that Ken just told you to do. And a year from now, you're still doing that, it's your fault.
That's right.
Your fault.
And
let me tell you, you're being paid about half of what you're probably worth.
Oh, absolutely. He's driving a mail truck. I'm looking for a local company that does a lot of deliveries. They've got manufacturing, auto parts. I'm looking for something like that.
I got a feeling doing Uber Eats, he could double his income.
Oh, for sure. By the way, let's talk about the security thing, because you just mentioned it. Made me think about this. I get this call a lot.
It's a false thing.
Total. I get this call a lot on the Ken Coleman Show. You ready for this? Hey, Ken, I'm in a contract.
Let me just tell you, having made payroll as a small business guy, and the first 10 years of this business, the people were on my payroll, I'm scared. I'm scratching, trying to make sure I got the money to make payroll on Friday, and they thought they had a secure job.
Yeah.
If you've ever made payroll, you know nobody is secure.
That's right. That's right. We get this call a lot. Ken, I'm on a contract right now, and my contract's coming up, and I feel like I got to move into something with a more stable salary. They think salary versus contract, and the reality is you could be a salary employee and get fired, let go. Furloughed.
Just ask the pandemic.
Yeah, so just because you have a salary position doesn't mean that you're immune to having your job removed from you.
Well, I mean, here's an idea. If you're self-employed and you have your own photography company, every day you get up, you leave the cave, you kill something, and you drag it home. That's called security.
There you go.
That's where security comes from.
Yeah.
And I remember I was making, serious money the first time I ever got up close to 7 figures. And my sweet granny, who my grandpa worked for one company for 38 years, never changed because he lost everything in the Depression, and he was so thankful for the job that he never left.
Of course.
Never left. And that generation did that.
Oh.
This generation, these last generations don't, including mine. But, I mean, I'm making serious bank owning my own business, and my sweet granny would say, now, honey, when are you going to get a real job?
Wow.
She still wanted me to get secure.
Yes.
And she's sweet as she could be, God rest her soul.
Yes.
But she wanted me to be secure. And I was making more.
Yeah.
It was, self-employed. Get up, leave the cave, kill something, drag it home, man. And you got to change it, Aaron. You got to change it, man. Just because it's steady, it just steadily sucks. Change it. Our scripture of the day, 1 Peter 1:13. Therefore, preparing your minds for action and being sober-minded, set your hope fully on the grace that will be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. John F. Kennedy said there are risks and costs to action, but they are far less than doing the long-range risks of than the long-range risks of comfortable inaction.
Yeah.
Exactly what we were just talking about.
We've been talking a lot about that. Yeah.
So that's for our last caller. There are risks and costs to action, but they are far less than the long-range risks of comfortable inaction.
The way I like to say it is, would you rather get to the end of your life and reminisce, or would you have to regret?
Or regret.
Yeah.
It's a nasty taste in the back of your mouth, this regret
is.
thing. Dawn is with us in Asheville, North Carolina. Hey, Dawn, what's up?
Hi, Dave. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you so much for taking my call. It's a blessing to talk to you. I have a friend who is dealing with the offer of a lump sum settlement, and I know you're going to say to take it, but she and I have run the numbers, and I can't figure out why she should take it.
Okay. A lump sum settlement on a lawsuit?
No. Her husband was disabled and died, and she gets monthly payments from the state of New York. And they have offered, now that her youngest child is no longer a minor, they've offered to pay out a lump sum instead of continuing to send her the money every month.
Okay. And how much was the lump sum?
Okay, the lump sum is $225,000.
Mm-hmm. And how much are her payments she's receiving?
She's 61 years old, and she gets $2,000 a month tax-free.
Okay, so she's getting $24,000, and she gets $225,000. And when she dies, the payments stop, right?
That's correct.
And when she dies, if she has $225,000 in the account, that goes to her heirs, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you have that number in your mind? It's a
I did have that number in my mind.
There's a $225,000 swing at death.
Yes.
0 or $225,000 at death. And if you invest $225,000 well, she will make almost as much or as much as she's making now, although it will be taxable.
Okay.
So she made 10%, it'd be $22,000 a year. That's not $24,000 a year. But I mean, if you invest it well, she'd be able to get $24,000 a year out of it, and there'd be money left at death.
Okay. So when I ran the numbers, because the state says they use 87 as their life expectancy, and when I ran the numbers, it was like $647,000.
That's not how the numbers work.
Okay.
The numbers work on what is your monthly income off of the lump sum, and the lump sum survives death. It's not a total dollar, because you're looking at how much I need to use the lump sum for her to get as much income as she would have gotten otherwise. And in this case, you are right, it is very unusual in that she might actually make less per month if she takes the lump sum and invests it well. So what I'd recommend you do is sit with her with a SmartVestor Pro and have someone actually map out some real investments and not just deal with theory here on the air. And let's consider then what she could really do. But the big difference here is upon death. There's not going to be a big difference while she's alive, because it's not like they're paying her like at 7% and she could make 12 or make 10. That sounds like she's got a really nice income. It actually sounds like they've miscalculated this. I think they've screwed up the calculation. I would go back to them and ask them, they say the lump sum seems awfully small. I think you made a mistake. Would you check your calculation? Because I think the lump sum should be bigger. Because I can't believe the state of freaking New York is competent enough to have run the numbers out based on a 12% rate of return. They didn't. They've not got that money invested at that. I just tell you, they're not that smart. Okay? I mean, this is state government, number one, and it's the state of New York, number two. So let's just keep this in mind.
What are you saying, Dave?
What am I saying?
I don't know if I understand what you're saying, Dave.
No, I'm just.
What do you get? Are you getting at something?
Yeah, I'm saying I think I have a math problem here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So anyway, sit there. I would go back and challenge them on the lump sum.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I would do is get a SmartVestor Pro. Click SmartVestor at DaveRamsey.com. Sit down with them, or get them on a Zoom, or whatever you need to do in your area to feel comfortable and all that stuff. Run some numbers out on some real investments. You can run what's called a hypothetical on a mutual fund portfolio. And you say, if we bought these 4 mutual funds and we had owned them for the last 20 years, what would they have turned out to be? And what kind of income would they have created? And that's called a hypothetical analysis. And it is using the history, but to project the future, which you can't technically do. You remember that a stupid butt line they use that the feds make everybody use in the investment world is, past history is not indicative of the future. Of course it is.
Right.
That's just stupid. Jared is in Colorado Springs. Hey, Jared, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good afternoon, Dave and Ken. How are you guys?
Great, man. Great. How can we help?
Well, we have a rental, and I am contemplating selling it. It's actually my wife's old house before we got married. But I think it might be a peak time to sell in Colorado, and I'm afraid of what the market's going to do. It's been a really consistent rental for the past 6 years. What are your thoughts on selling in order to pay off our home mortgage?
Not a bad idea. I would not use the fact that I think that the real estate market is going to go down in Colorado Springs as my reason, because I don't think that's true.
Okay.
Colorado Springs is a vibrant, awesome market. It's got that proximity to Denver, and Denver's nuts on real estate prices. And so it's a wonderful town. I mean, Colorado Springs is an incredible place to live, work, own real estate, everything. And so I don't think you're going to see prices go down there in the future. But if you're done with rentals, you've had a nice run, and you'd like to use that money to pay off your mortgage, you'd love the idea of being completely debt-free, hey, Dave Ramsey's not going to argue with you on that, dude. Laura is with us. Laura's in New York City. Hi, Laura. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Sure. How can we help?
Well, I am a licensed massage therapist and a dancer, and I'm wondering if I should change professions. My parents think I should go back to school because the job market is hard with things that I do. And
you're a licensed therapist and a dancer.
Yes.
Are you a professional dancer, as in Broadway?
I'm a professional dancer. I have not done Broadway.
Okay.
But have you made a living doing that, or have you made your living as a therapist?
I have currently been making my living as a licensed massage therapist.
Okay.
But it doesn't sound like you want to go back to school. It sounds like Mom and Dad think you should go back to school.
Please don't live their dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Actually, I have been living their dream for a while. That's also why I went into massage therapy.
What do you want to do? What do you dreamed about? You've dreamed about something. Anybody that's creative like you has had a dream. You've got no problem with imagination. What is it? What do you want to do?
I want to do acting, but I've been auditioning. I did get some small background work.
Okay, so listen, Laura, I want to set you free.
Yeah.
In order for you to be an actor, you got to stay in it. This is a long game. And I can't speak to your talent. I'm assuming right now that you're not delusional, that you actually have the talent to do it. You've got to be a massage therapist or something else. You've got to have a day job or two that gives you the flexibility to audition. That is simply the game.
We're in Nashville. We always say, how do you get the next country music star's attention? Waiter.
Order an appetizer. Yeah, you got to have a plan that gives you the freedom to keep pursuing. Don't you give up. There's always a chance to go back to something else. But
you need to walk through this and figure out what your long-term dream is. Has it shifted? But don't live your mama's dream. That's a bad plan right there. That's not going to even make her happy. Not going to work out for you. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.